I have a lot of respect for authors who can make me cry, like Lauren Roberts or Mad Rafferty. I don't know why this took me forever. Lauren Roberts or Mad Rafferty. But I have an immaculate respect for authors who can not make me cry, but also traumatize me at the same time. So that is why today we're going to be talking about every single 𝘰𝘱𝘯 book that I've read. Because I haven't read Joey and Aoife's stories. Listen, I've heard that those are traumatizing, and I have to mentally prepare myself, basically, to read these books so that way I don't go insane. Yes. Cool, great, love that. So, in this video, we're going to be ranting about these books and the characters because I have a lot to say, okay? Now, with this rant comes spoilers on top of spoilers on top of spoilers. So, if you have not read, I'm going to only name off the ones that I have read. If you have not read Releasing 10, Taming 7, Keeping 13, Binding 13, then you need to go, okay? If you're like me and just haven't read Saving 6 and Redeeming 6, then you're good, guys, because I haven't read that either. But it's here for sure. You know what? Actually, yeah, honorable mention. I'm going to stay up here the whole video. Okay? Good job. Awesome. So, this is scary. I'm scared because people are passionate about these books and I don't want to get beat up online. Like I really don't. Like I like my life an awful lot, okay? We have also a drink of choice here. We have a brisk, lemon brisk because I already know I'm gonna get thirsty while recording this, so lemon brisk right there. Okay, great. I want to go ahead and start out with, let's do my favorite in the series, okay, which is, we're going to go out of order, so yeah, Releasing 10. guys, this book, I almost cried over this book. I didn't though. This book, I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable, and people were like bashing 𝘰𝘱𝘯 because they were like, "Oh, this is like so uncomfortable," and like, "This is not an accurate representation," and such and such and such. And 𝘰𝘱𝘯 was literally like, "It is an accurate representation because Lizzie is based off of herself." Like, I was just like, "Okay, wow, crap, wow." So things just got 10 times worse in my mind. Great. So, um, wow, I have no words. Okay. Um, I'm gonna, trigger warning real quick. Mark Allen? I know that, like, that name just triggered me. Oh, that name triggered me. Guys, Mark Allen is disgusting. Like, guys, really? Like, no. Because are the trigger warnings in this book? Okay, so there were a few trigger warnings, hold up, that were, like, left out. Yeah, there was like a lot of trigger warnings that were left out of this book, but they were on like her Instagram or something. So I saw the one on her Instagram before reading the book, so luckily I already knew what I was getting into. But the second, because mind you, I want to give a quick disclaimer. I read Binding 13, Keeping 13, and skipped to Releasing 10. I did not read Taming 7 until after Releasing 10, because first of all, Releasing 10 takes place in the past. This is a chunky book, I'm realizing it now though. This takes place in the past to start off, and also, um, I knew there were going to be spoilers on release day, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to read so that way I can't get the book spoiled for myself. I'm just going to skip the other books and I'm going to circle back around because this takes place in the past anyway, so I should be good, right? So, I had not read Taming 7. So, when I was chatting with my friend who has read this book and I was telling her about this character, she was like, oh, like Mark Allen? And she was like, oh, you're talking about the funeral? And I was just like, how do you already know this? She was like, Taming 7, baby. I was like, oh. It was embarrassing, but yeah. Thanks, Mari, for like it gives me secondhand embarrassment because I was just like, oh wait, not secondhand, firsthand embarrassment. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm embarrassing myself. It's okay, but guys, I literally was so clueless about who certain characters were, and I was just like, okay, well, crap, you know? And genuinely, I do think, like, out of all the books that we've seen from these two characters, I do think that if Katie and Feely were, like, not a couple, then I definitely do think it'd probably be, like, Liz and Feely. Because they are, like, okay, I just got cut off, so I don't know where I left off, but I do know what I was talking about. I just think that if Katie and Feely were like not going to be a couple in the future and stuff, right? And it wasn't going to be Hugh and Liz or Hughie or I don't know how to pronounce his name, whatever, who cares, right? If it wasn't going to be those pairs and those matches and stuff, I do think that Feely, like Patrick and Liz would be a great couple. Like just based off the stuff that we've seen in the past books, right? So that's just what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put my nails on because I just came in, so I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna see you guys in a second minute. Okay, great. Okay, guys, quick little thing. We have these faux nails. I'm not gonna put these on. I'm gonna save those. We have these like, you know, like the ones where like the 3D art up there. We have those, and then we also have like these, but I have no remembrance of purchasing these. So I think we're just gonna do these. So yeah. And America, we are back. Sorry. 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 We are back. And it's time to continue what I was talking about. So, we were actually discussing my favorite in the series, releasing 10. So, let's actually deep dive into like the characters. So, Lizzie Young, Elizabeth Young has been my favorite character all the way since Binding 13. I actually have the UK version of Binding 13, but I'm not bringing that down right now. Binding 13, she's been my favorite since Binding 13 because she is one of those friends who is like, she could be mad at you, like so mad at you, but she will still stick up for you in every single situation. You know, like you mess with her friends and she messes with you. And I was just like, guys, I love characters like that. Like, she could literally have the biggest problem with you, but she will see you getting bullied by somebody else and she's going to stick up for you every single time. And that's the kind of friend, like, the kind of character articulation, the kind of friend articulation that I love to see in books because it's just like, wow. Wow. Awesome. That is great. You know, I was just like, this is the kind of character that we need in these kind of stories, right? Especially where it's like stories that are handling such dark topics and like the characters are dealing with such dark things outside of, you know, what's there's the characters that are dealing with such dark things inside of their stories and you just have that friend that's going to stick up for you every single freaking time. Like, wow. Every single time. Now, actually, I have to check about how to pronounce this man's name again. I say Hughie, but it might be wrong, so let's double check. Okay, well, apparently Hughie's a common name or something because it's not here. So, yeah, I think it's just Hughie, guys. I think it's Hughie. So, the thing with Hughie, he does not have any like interesting features or factors outside of him dating either Lizzie or Katie. And I'm sorry, but somebody had to say it because like somebody just had to like say it because I genuinely just I didn't think that he was all that interesting outside of dating somebody because he's like now don't get me wrong, these are good things to have. He is a really sweet dude. He doesn't have that many problems, which many he does with his father, but it's not like how, you know, Lizzie or Shannon have their issues with their father, right? So he's really sweet. He doesn't have that many problems. He's not that problematic, and in every single book besides his own, he has such very few little lines because he's quiet, really. He's quiet. And once again, these are not bad factors for a character to have, but it just doesn't make the character seem significant. And so Hyugi, when I read his book, felt like I wasn't really connecting to him because with Lizzie, I connected with her because she's been my favorite, like I said, since Keeping and Biting 13. So I was just like, cool, right? Cool. But it's it's nothing special outside of his own book. He's not a special character. And obviously, we're focusing on other couples in each book, so he's not going to be like a quote unquote main character. But it's just like how in Binding or Keeping 13, how 𝘰𝘱𝘦 was so memorable for being like the funny friend or like the friend that we loved and stuff like that. Whenever like Hyugi was in like Johnny's presence, we didn't even it didn't even register until about halfway through the dialogue when he said something or he spoke, or if they mentioned him. But other than the mentioning, it was just like, is he actually really there? Because he doesn't have a lot of dialogue or too much importance in the other books. So that's just why I felt like in releasing 10, it was cool to kind of see his side of this, like his side of everything, because we don't get to see a lot of him. I just didn't connect with him the same level that I just didn't connect with him the way that I wanted to, basically. But it was still such a good book. It was 5 stars for me because, yeah, guys. Now, listen, I the second that I know I started this thought and I never finished the thought that I was speaking. The second that Mark Allen, should I put a trigger warning, came onto page, I already knew, okay, this is going to be the creep that we were warned against on Chloe's Instagram. Like I was like, this is the creep we're gonna get warned against on Instagram. I already know it. He just gives off that vibe, right? Munchkin? Oh, I'm sorry. Munchkin? Guys, I literally was like, I can't use that nickname now. I don't want to be called that nickname now. It's just like, wow. Ruined the entire thing for me, okay? Ruined it for me. Like, guys, come on. Munchkin? Guys. And then it was like in that one scene, I don't remember like what chapter it was on, but it was like they were at the carnival. You guys know what I'm talking about. They were at the carnival and like Mark was like putting his hands on Lizzie in like a really weird way, like on her shoulders or on her leg or something, and it was something like that, and he kept trying to talk to Lizzie, and Hugh was just like, don't do this and stuff like that. And then Mark was like, it's fine, like she doesn't care. And like Lizzie, since she's oblivious, because it's like a trauma block, I think that's what it's called, where like literally she has no remembrance of each encounter with Mark until she's back with Mark. But even then, she doesn't identify him as Mark. He's identified as like the monster or something. She doesn't recognize him. Stuff like you know. So it was like with that trauma block and with that like blocking of his face, like the blur of his face, when she's, you know, like when all this traumatic stuff is happening, it's just like she was like Hughie, it's okay, like I don't really care, you know. And I was just like, Lizzie, no, Lizzie. Oh my goodness. I was just like, oh my goodness, my baby, my baby. I was just like, guys, what the heck? Like, oh my goodness. Also want to mention that Elle, who runs like Chloe Walsh's Instagram and stuff, was like, we're not gonna get any books this summer. Like, right? Like, summer's over. So we could be getting a book later this year. But then she posted, I think there are no books coming out this year, right? But they have been like Chloe and Elle have been suspiciously active on her Instagram like lately, like dropping spoilers and hints and stuff like that. So I think we're going to get an announcement this year for a book of 2026. I think we're gonna get an announcement this year for a book of 2026, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm so excited. I really want to see it happen because I really do want. What is it? What is it? Claiming 10. Claiming 10, right? Yeah, I really want an announcement for Claiming 10. Now, I want to get into my least. Oh wait, I have 2 books that I didn't really like. My least favorite in the series. Can you guys guess it? I would like, if you're new here, this is your first video watching of mine. Can you guess what my least favorite is? Okay. So if you guys are not new here, I said this in my last video, so you guys already know the answer. But Taming Seven by Chloe Walsh. But obviously it's by Chloe Walsh. We're talking about her series. Taming Seven. 𝘰𝘱𝘦𝘯, how do I like you in every single other book but your own? But your own. Okay, so I'm gonna say this before I start talking about what I'm about to say because I know y'all are gonna get on me. Lizzie has things to apologize for. Many, many, many crazy things she has said and done, she has to apologize for. But 𝘰𝘱𝘦 also has things to apologize for. Okay? So, one second, guys. One second. Hello? Okay, we're T. It's T. Oh, it's T, guys. It's T. Okay. So, we're like the funeral. First of all, the funeral, the note, the letter, he didn't speak up. Right? He didn't speak up. And I'm pretty sure he's dyslexic, so holding that against him is like, like, can't do too much with that because it's a letter, right? But there was even, I'm pretty sure, like a conversation, if I remember correctly from Leasing 10, a conversation that was held between, what is her name? Like Kavi? I don't know how to pronounce her name. I call her Cam because that's how it's spelled, but I'm pretty sure it's like Kav something. It's Kiva. See, I was so close. Kiva. Kiva and 𝘰𝘱𝘦 had a conversation in Releasing 10. So with this conversation that was held, you would think, okay, wow, he would speak up. But then I was like, benefit of the doubt, right? He was a child. But then it was near the beginning of like Taming Seven where 𝘰𝘱𝘦 literally admitted to himself that he was in like the wrong. Like he didn't admit it, but he kind of like low-key snitched on himself, saying that he was in the wrong. So there is a part in the beginning of the book where he acknowledges like what he did was wrong to Lizzie and how he jeopardized Lizzie's like reputation and stuff like that by not speaking up at the funeral, even though he knew that what he did say in return was wrong at the funeral, right? Because there was a part, if you guys want to turn the thinking capsule on, there is a part in Taming Seven where he goes, I was scared she would tell the truth and everybody would get mad at me. Something like that. It was something where he was like, I was scared she would like tell the truth and tell everybody like the truth and like how yada 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 and stuff like this and yada yada yada. I just tried looking for it. I can't. But he literally was just like, oh well, I was scared that she would tell the truth about what I basically lied about and stuff like that, which tantalized her entire reputation. But she never said anything, like she never spoke up, and she just let him keep that little like secret or whatever. Because literally the reason why she didn't say anything was because she genuinely thought at one point that she was going crazy. There was a moment in time where she was just like, crap, am I going crazy? Stuff like that. So I just really think like it's one thing to not say anything when you're 7 because you're scared, right? But it's another thing to let it escalate so badly where everybody in town thinks that she is absurd, she's crazy, she's gone wild, stuff like that. At your big age, were they like 16? At your big age, it has been what, like 9 years? 8 years, even. I'll give you an 8-year leniency. 8 years. And you haven't spoken up. You haven't said anything. And then also, 𝘰𝘱𝘦 doesn't know this, obviously, but 𝘰𝘱𝘦's mother placed like a lawsuit. Like she was like, if you keep speaking about this, like you're gonna get sued. And automatically, it was like based off of what she was told by Mark, what she heard from 𝘰𝘱𝘦 himself, and then after like that lawsuit threat, it was kind of just like, okay, 𝘰𝘱𝘦's like my enemy now. Like he literally just like he's not my friend anymore. Stuff like that. And it really hurts because like you look at like the flashback from Taming 7 and then you like look at Releasing 10, right? And you're like, these two used to be such good friends. Like they used to be best of friends. Like, literally, they had each other's backs at all costs. They used to be the best of friends. They used to be the best of friends. Like, they used to be like this. They used to be like this, guys. And, like, then they just weren't. Because of all this stuff that was piling up against, like, yo, Gibbsy's the villain. And it broke them. And then on top of, like, it's a lot to unpack, right? But I'm not mad at Gibbsy. Gibbsy is still one of my favorites. Lizzie is forever my favorite, though. I don't know. I love Lizzie. Okay, does that mean excuse her actions? No. No, Lizzie has things to apologize for. There are things that she has said and done where I was just like, oh, oh, that's not like that's not okay, so there were things where I was like, okay, Lizzie, we're not supposed to be doing this, like, you know people already think you're crazy, let's not do this, right? But there were also things where I think, like, some words, not her actions, some words were validated, because it was just like, wow. And to what she said to Katie about the freaking sticks and stones and stuff like that, I do think that it was wrong of her to say, but Katie knows how she is, so to judge her openly and try to criticize her for that, knowing, because they've hung around Lizzie for a while, knowing how Lizzie can get, and trying to butt in to something that she was not a part of, was on her. Like, I don't want to get beat up, guys. Please don't beat me up in the comments, because I know how this fandom gets. Don't beat me up. I'm just saying, like, not that Katie deserved that comment, no, but I don't know why she was so shocked when when Lizzie did clap back. I don't know why she was so shocked. Like, oh, girl, you knew what you were getting into the second you said something. So it's 50-50. No, it's 40-60, okay? Lizzie's at 40, Katie's at 60. Okay? It's 40-60, right? Because while she shouldn't have said that, it was uncalled for, she still kind of deserved a clapback. Not specifically about her issues, but a clapback. She deserved it. Because why are you butting in? Did not deserve the words that were given, but she definitely deserved, like, a little humble yourself real quick, sweetheart, because this is not what we play. Okay, this is not what we do. And Katie, to me, gives off, like, mean girl vibes. Like, so far, like, obviously in the end of Releasing 10 we see, like, cameos with Katie and whatnot. Based off of those, she seems nice, but, like, there are scenes where it's literally like Katie is, like, telling Lizzie, like, oh my goodness, are you, like, and stuff like that, and, like, she's being all judgmental and stuff like that. And there's another moment where it was just like Katie and Claire, and Katie said some snark remark or something. And we're gonna get into Claire in a second, because I got some beef with Claire. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I have beef with Claire, but I don't have beef with Claire. I don't, but I do. It's mixed. It's 50-50 once again. So yeah. Also, to those who are getting ready to click off because I said I have beef with Claire, don't click off, guys. I promise it's validated. Okay, it's valid. I promise. I'm not a Claire hater, but I'm not a Claire lover. I'm, like, in the middle. Okay, let's talk about Claire real quick. Claire is a bad friend. Claire is a bad friend to. I'm about to. Not a long list. I think it's like 2 or 3 people, right? Claire is a bad friend to Lizzie, number 1. To Gibbsy. I think that's it, right? Lizzie, she's a bad friend to Lizzie and Gibbsy. So start with Gibbsy's first, because this is, like, the easier one to explain, right? Claire outed a secret he didn't want out, right? And I get it. After what happened with Shannon, she was scared. But we're also going to circle back to the secret that she exposed about Mark. Again, when I talk about how she's a bad friend to Liz, but she outed a secret he didn't want out. And then in a lot of scenarios, she was like, okay, let's put Gibbsy here. And then after that, I'm going to bring Lizzie in the picture, and put them in the same room, the same area, and then be like, okay, well, I know like last time we had this, like they had this big fight or whatever. But we're gonna get over it. No, at this point, you're just doing it, and Gibbsy's the one getting hurt, right? So I hope that explains why I feel like she's a bad friend to Gibbsy. Not fully. I think she's a worse friend to Lizzie though, because now somebody tried to debate me on this. Guys, I have the stuck back up. Claire invited Lizzie to a party where Lizzie knew nobody. She didn't know anybody at the party. Shannon was not at the party. She didn't know anybody, right? The second she arrives, she runs off with Gibbsy, right? She runs off with Gibbsy, and people were like, "Oh well, she's like Lizzie used to run off with Hughie." That's because Claire used to run off with Gibbsy the second that he was in the premise. Like, oh look, it's Gibbsy. Bye, Liz. Liz doesn't know anybody here. She doesn't know anybody here. Okay, so that happened when they were little kids. Okay, so it's like kids, they can't tell when they're being a bad friend or not, stuff like that, right? It's like they can, but they also can't, right? Then we're going to get into this Shannon thing. Okay, Shannon is my unproblematic queen. We love Shannon. Okay, I love Shannon. She's so unproblematic. So Shannon's our unproblematic queen. We love Shannon, right? Right? And I haven't read Joey and Aoife's book, but based on what I've seen from Aoife, we love Aoife. Okay, we love Joey. We love Johnny. Okay, these like Joey and Aoife, and then Shannon and Johnny are our unproblematic kings and queens. Okay, everybody else. Oh, also Patrick. Patrick is unproblematic. Patrick is in like, and Katie, semi problematic. Semi. We don't have enough on her to say if she's problematic or not, but she said some things that's like, okay, right? So, back to all of this jazz that I was just speaking about. When I'm bringing up Shannon because it's relevant to my point that I'm making, Shannon was getting bullied by Bella, right? And guess who was there to stand up for her when Gibbsy and Johnny weren't? It was Claire, right? Claire was the one taking care of her. Claire was the one checking in with her. All this other stuff, right? Like all this other stuff. So you were just like, okay, well, you think she'd do the same thing for Lizzie, but it's like she does, but she picks and chooses the battles that she wants to fight for Lizzie. Like, for example, when Katie made that snark remark, you know what Claire did? She didn't say anything to Katie. In fact, she agreed. Whether it was openly or not, she agreed. And it's like that saying where it's like, you don't like agree with the person that's going against your best friend in public, but you teach them better in private. In this case, Lizzie didn't even do anything. She just came in the room and she got astray. And you know what Claire did? She was just like, in her mind, I'll give her that. At least she didn't say something in public. In her mind, she was just like, oh, I agree. But let it be Shannon who Katie said something about, and it'd be okay. Let's fight, right? Right. So I just feel like that's one thing. And also, they were like bashing her in the car when Lizzie wasn't there and stuff like that. And she'd let them talk bad about her, but the second they called her a name, it's just like, oh, don't call my best friend that. Don't call my best friend that. Why is it they can't call her a name, but why is it they cannot call her a name, but they can talk trash about her and crap on her entire existence, and you're fine with it? It's kind of just like, girl, where are the morals? Where is the stuff that we've been taught? Where is this and where's that? So I just think it's a matter of that. Yeah. Then, oh my goodness, Lizzie. Wait, no, Claire just doesn't know how to read a room. Lizzie doesn't either, but we're talking about Claire right now. Claire doesn't know how to read a room. She doesn't. I don't think that makes her a bad friend. I just think like that's something she needs to work on. Girl, like reading a room shouldn't be this difficult. It really shouldn't be this difficult to read a room. But what do I know? Mhm. And then back to this little secret that she exposed. Literally, Lizzie said something, and she was like, "No, that couldn't have happened because he did it to 𝘰𝘱𝘦." Two things can be right. And although in this case Lizzie was wrong because we all know it's trauma blocking and stuff, and what happened with 𝘰𝘱𝘦 was consensual, she trauma blocked it and it automatically spun onto, okay, it was happening to her sister and not her because it's trauma block. So, well, in this case, it wasn't right, but it wasn't right in a way where she was intentionally lying. That's just how she remembers it going down. She doesn't remember it happening to her. Just like, oh, he didn't do it to 𝘰𝘱𝘦 because he did it to 𝘰𝘱𝘦. Just like, don't you think that him doing it to 𝘰𝘱𝘦 validates what Lizzie just said? Like, it's literally like, oh no, like, this person couldn't have poured water on this person because this person poured water on this person. This person could be a repeat offender. Repeat offenders exist, okay? So where are we getting at here? But once again, Claire was really fun in binding and binding and keeping 13, and she was a good friend to Shannon. That's why I don't hate her. I just don't love her like I love Shannon, or like I love Aoife or Patrick or um Lizzie. Like that's just, I'm just naming characters that I like. Okay, it's not in the specific order. But like it's so with Claire. And I do think that Chloe Walsh did this on purpose because all of it's going to come together in the end. Like by the last book, they're all going to be friends again. I'm predicting it. If they aren't, then Chloe Walsh is going to get a letter from my lawyer. But I'm going to give myself benefit of the doubt and just say they're all going to end up fine in the end, right? So by the end of this, they're all gonna be friends again. Um, so by the end of this, everybody's gonna apologize. Lizzie, Claire, 𝘰𝘱𝘦, Katie, Hope, maybe, I don't know. Katie might not have to apologize because once again, what she did was not major. I just thought it was a little bit messy, But all characters get messy at times, right? So I just think that those three are gonna be like the main ones we see apologize to each other in the end. Like Claire to both 𝘰𝘱𝘦 and Lizzie because she put like them both through some crazy stuff, right? And Lizzie to Claire and 𝘰𝘱𝘦 because once again she put them both through some crazy stuff. And then 𝘰𝘱𝘦 to Lizzie, but his probably won't be as heartfelt because it's like he didn't do as much, I feel like there's gonna be an apology there somewhere. Now, last thing, like it kind of relates to the secret, but it was just like Mark was there to party and 𝘰𝘱𝘦 was like doing perfectly fine, and like she's freaking out over 𝘰𝘱𝘦, and then Lizzie's like over here panicking in the corner. Like, yeah. But once again, I'm not like a Claire hater. Like people can be like, my favorite character is Claire. I'm just like, okay. See, like I can see why. She's a cutesy character. She has like her issues. Like she is a good character. She has good character built good character building. What? I'm an author. How do I not know these terms? She has good like character building or whatever, right? And she has all these things that make her a good character. It's just like obviously to every single character, she's going to have those flaws where some people are going to look at those flaws and just like not like her. Which for me, it's not I don't like her or I don't love her. It's I'm just in the middle like, okay, she's a good character, but she's not my favorite and she's not my least favorite. My least favorite, I could name so many. I don't remember that lady's name, but 𝘰𝘱𝘦's mother, Alan, Alan Mark. I'm not saying it's like trigger warning. Mark Allen. Trigger warning. I'm sorry. Teddy. Hello. What is that man's last name? Teddy Lynch. I don't know why that was like what. Teddy Lynch. Like I have a lot of least favorite characters. Claire is not down here with any of them. Okay, she's not down here with any of them. Like Liz. Like okay, favorite characters. Shannon. No, Lizzie. Then 𝘰𝘱𝘦, then um Patrick, then Hugh. Oh my goodness, why is Shannon and Johnny so low? Shannon, Johnny, Joey. Wait, that is guys. I feel like I'm tweaking. Genuinely, I need to go to sleep. Yeah, Joey, Aoife. Dang, why is Claire so low? Claire, all of Shannon's siblings. So yeah, cause like they're not main characters, so they're not like my favorites or whatever. Cause we don't get to see too much of them. Um, there's a few more. Shannon's mom, because she's like not a bad character, but she's also not a good character. You know, because there's like some things she did, but like they're understandable why she did certain things, but she also got on my nerves. Got on my nerves. Um, oh my goodness, why are Johnny's parents so low? Johnny's parents. So there's a long list of people before we get down to the dumps of like the few that I hate with my guts, right? Claire is not that far down, okay? Um, none of the characters that I just sat here and was like, okay, this is their flaws, are that far down. Literally, 𝘰𝘱𝘦, even though I just sat here and named like a few reasons why he was a bad friend and why he made me mad in his own book, like I literally rated Taming 7 1 star because I didn't like either of the characters in their own books, but I love them in other people's books, like other characters' books, right? 𝘰𝘱𝘦 is my number two. He was my number one for a while, but because and then Lizzie was my number two. But then after reading Releasing 10, I was just like, okay, we gotta swap those two around, right? So yeah, also to realize like when reading Taming 7 and Releasing 10 that they were like best friends, like Lizzie and 𝘰𝘱𝘦. It hurts. It hurts, genuinely. Okay, I know I'm gonna give these books their spotlight before I get into another character that I actually do like, but I don't like at the same time, you know? So, Binding and Keeping 13. The classics. Guys, I could not put this book down. Like, this was phenomenal. I was just like, okay, wow, this is amazing. Love this so much. It's great. Awesome. Like, it's it's amazing. Like I don't even have any other words to describe it. This book was so good. Could not put it down. I will say, like the first 20 pages, I was just like, "This book is popular. Why is this book popular? You know, like why is it popular? We have like you know all this stuff. Where I'm just like, okay, right? Like okay, you stay there. But I do like how like people automatically agree like Shannon is one of the only acceptable like little small petite characters that we have because she has a reason to be so small and petite because she's constantly I don't know if YouTube's gonna like do anything to my video if I say that word out loud, but she is getting at home. Oh my goodness, what the heck? She's getting bullied. um there was a lot of stuff that was happening to Shannon for the reason that she was like skinny and she was frail and she was fragile, stuff like that. There were so many reasons why. So it's like everybody all collectively agrees like okay, she's one of the only acceptable characters to be in that like range of like really small petite characters that need to be saved because genuinely she did need to be saved because she couldn't get out of there alone. Nobody, like none of those poor kids could, except for like Darren. Dang, we had a lot of characters that like underwent the same traumaticness as Lizzie and Gibbs. Like Darren, I don't know if I can. I don't even think I can mouth that word up here. I think I'm gonna get flagged if I do. But you know what happened to Gibbsy and Liz? What happened like Darren? That's crazy. Chloe Walsh, what are you? Okay, right. So Binding 13, like couldn't put it down. I loved like Johnny's mother. There was one scene, I don't know what page it's on, but there was that scene where it was like I don't know what Johnny was getting. It was like in the rain or whatever, right? I think, and it was like Johnny's mom was there. I always forget her name, but she was in the car with Shannon, and Shannon was like she kept slipping up her words, and like she was scaring Johnny's mother half to death. Like, what? And she was like, no, that's not what I meant. And she was like, okay. And then she said something else, and she was like, wait, wait, what? Like, so I just found that really funny. I was just like, okay, love, like Johnny's mother. Okay, love his parents. Period. Like his parents are icons, and I can't wait for their book because they are getting a book. Now, keeping 13, I couldn't pick this book up. Listen, this was when I first introduced to the series, so I didn't know that it was rated adult everywhere but the US, because US has problems with rating stuff correctly. But at the time, all I knew was this book was young adult, as it says on the side. So I was just like, okay, for like, it wasn't even like the traumatic things that kind of had me like, okay, I don't, like those. I was a weird kid. Okay, I was a weird kid. That doesn't sound right. I'm just saying, not a lot phases me anymore, right? But I was just like smut, like it was smut scene, whatever, in a YA book, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this book is just not it. And then after that, like, I couldn't even enjoy the story after that because I was just like, okay, yeah. I do think I don't reread books, guys. I don't, but I think now knowing how the book is supposed to be rated, since it's getting re-rated in the U.S. Bloom Books, Bloom Books is changing the spines too. They're gonna change the spines white with like the character names on the side, which would be cute. But we still have like seven. I'm kidding, but we still have a few more books in the series left, and you're telling me it's gonna automatically go from dark to brightness. Like, I promise I'm gonna be crying. Yeah, but I don't know why Bloom Books didn't just rate it correctly off the bat. They was like, okay, this could be YA in the US and stuff like that, and then we're gonna make it adult everywhere else. If it's adult everywhere else, why can't it be adult in the US? Right? Because Chloe Walsh literally said, like, it's not up to her, it's up to her publishers. And her publishers publish it adult every single area, every single state, every single country, every single continent, besides the US. Make it make sense. Please. Because I'm not understanding, Bloom. Like, Bloom, look me in my eyes and tell me, explain to me why we did this. You can't. Great. So, this video is long. I just realized that. Okay, so that's kind of just, I might do a reread on this now that I know how it's supposed to be rated and stuff like that. I might do a reread on this and just skip like the chapters that made me go, I don't think that's supposed to be there, stuff like that. So yeah, now to close this out, I like low-key kind of like Bella as a character. Oh no, I don't know how I fell into like this little rabbit hole of this, but it was just like I was reading Binding 13, right? And I was just like, on one hand, I don't feel bad because like she low-key kind of brought it upon herself, but on the other hand, I was kind of just like, okay, wait, I don't know, like it's not like, oh my goodness, she's like the best character ever, and like stuff like this and stuff like that. Like, no, most definitely not. Bella scares me. Like as a person, she scares me, but I don't know. I think if she wasn't a bully, her and Lizzie would be good friends and stuff. Like if Bella didn't bully Lizzie, then I feel like Lizzie and Bella would have been good friends. Like they give the same energy, really. They really do, because I feel like even though like in releasing 10, Bella and like Lizzie was just like, I'm not gonna be your friend. I feel like if Bella hadn't like picked on Lizzie, I feel like Lizzie would have came around and caved or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, guys, oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna do this in freaking order. I don't care to do it in freaking order. So we're gonna take this honorable mention down, right? It's just honorable mention since I wasn't talking about it in this video because I haven't read it yet. I need to. I ordered, what is it? I ordered Redeeming 6. It's coming in the mail today. So once I get Redeeming 6 in, I might start it because then I won't have to like wait and stuff, Anyways, this rant video is extremely long. I think it's the longest video I've done in a while. I do know that like August I had a bunch of long videos that came out. Doesn't matter. This is like one of the longer videos that I've done in a while because a lot of my videos have been under 30 minutes. So this rant is over. If you guys have like any opinions that go against mine, I'm not gonna care. Like, not in like a I don't care, but in like I don't mind if you have different opinions because their opinions, I'm obviously gonna see things different as the next person. So I do want to hear what you guys' opinions on what I said on these books, like literally the characters, everything. I just want to hear what you guys have to say honestly, because I do want to hear. Like, I genuinely do. And I cannot wait for Claiming 10. Taming 7, I don't know what the next book for, like, Claire and Gibbsy is, but I think that, like, Lizzie and Hughie's book is coming out before theirs. So, if this is the case, then things should be a bit more resolved, right? So, with that being said, I do think that if they're like Lizzie and Hughie's book comes out first, then it would make much more sense for theirs to come out because then they'd be like the confession, stuff like that. And it's like the denial. And it's like their book is like filled with like this like not guilt, but like yeah, guilt kind of, but not like that's not the main focus of the book. Obviously, it's like they're obviously their love story, but it's gonna have that guilt and that's like that stuff. I feel like it would just work out if Lizzie and Hughie's book came out before, you know, Claire and Gibbsy's. Like it would make a lot of sense. But that's gonna be all for today's video. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys' predictions are. All this other stuff. I want to hear it in the comments down below. Tell me what you guys didn't agree with, because I do want to see like, okay, maybe you can bring me to a different light, make me agree with you. And what are there some things you guys did agree with, so I feel a little validated and stuff. Yeah, so that is it for today's video. Hope you guys all enjoyed my kisses. Well, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I don't think I mentioned that in this video, but make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I am an author. I wrote this book right here, and you guys can see more about it on my Instagram and my TikTok. I usually explain it, but these past few videos I haven't because I knew my storage is gonna freaking die on me like the next few seconds. So follow Instagram, follow TikTok, and it's quiet, it's clean, you guys. Also, if you guys want to, because I have a lot of book hauls coming up, because I ordered a lot of books. If you guys want to be included in a book haul, I also have an Amazon not storefront, wish list. In the description, you guys can buy me a book or two, or some book accessories to put on my bookshelves and stuff, and you guys can be included in the next book haul, where I haul some books and some stuff that you guys got me. So, with that being said, you guys go ahead and like, subscribe, notifications so you guys never miss a video, and also join the Facebook club because next month we're going to be reading Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. So, it's going to be the last day of reading Fearful by Lauren Roberts in the book club, but, you guys can join the book club, discuss what you have read from this book, this amazing, beautiful book right here, and yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. My kisses, Maddie out, and goodbye.